that bed liner. We did seal the whole bed. This is our bed. With the bed liner on. Oh, look, dirt. Just got all the stuff, all the brackets and hardware and stuff bolted back in. All of our pegs and pins. And the stuff we took off to do the bed liner, we got bolted back in. But this is pretty rugged stuff. It's not the top of the line Rhino liner or anything. It still seems to be a damn good product. We prepped it up right and well, so I don't foresee any issues with the product long term. This is the tailgate hanging out. It's all done and stripped down. That's ready to go back on the truck. And I got some minor repairs to do to the bed that were caused moving the bed around. Okay, so on the other side of the truck, over on the passenger side, we're air chiseling a bunch of shit loose and away. So that's the compressor. You hear the air chisel occasionally. I want to show you this rocker panel. We opt not to go all the way up. Floor structure itself is compromised enough. We're going to patch that in, make it a sound structure again. We cut this away, we're going to be taking this support, all our shit's going to sag. And it's easier for me to take this and cut this out. This area here is all flanged out. So the new rocker panel drops down inside right there, and we stitch across here. Now across here, this area back, and there's an area towards the front. We're gonna go ahead and butt weld those. So we trim one, we trim the other, we mark this. I'd rather cut more out of this than the new one. Might as well keep as much of the good new material as possible, and we'll trim this back right on the truck. Now I've taken the cutting and the trimming, take a pair of whisks, aviation clips. You can do anything up to, I'd say 16 gauge. It's a little tough, fucks these up. These are disposable. Moral of the story, no job is worth failing at the expense of a tool. I'll cut up more wrenches and bullshit making tools. Up here. Now after we get it stitched in here, we're good. Kind of fall down a little bit. After we get it clamped in a couple areas to make sure it doesn't fall down or come out of alignment when we start welding. I still try to grind all this sealer off and get everything ready to go. But you can see, you know, we've got a real good fit. If this will cooperate with me. Right in here. I mean, our butt weld's going to be really, really nice through there. There'll be a couple small voids, but you can, you know, if you can manage your welder, you can stitch that in. I use a MIG. I actually had to upgrade recently. Very happy I got a Miller finally. But at this point, we got the external structure on the driver's side where we want it. Now in front of the front door and behind the rear door, there's going to be some hammer work, some peening work to make all that line up appropriately. Not a big deal. The understructure is the next big one that we're fighting with. The owner of the truck over here, Bob, is with me today. He doesn't want to be on a video, so we'll definitely respect his wishes there. See, he's laughing at me now. Okay. Alright, see, our inner rocker is gone. That came down and over for this flange to attach to. So we've got some steel. We're going to go up on the inside and drop it down to recreate this whole piece where the flange is missing. We got floor section here. We're going to patch in accordingly. Floor section there. We're going to shore up the structure where it's sound. We're not going back to the original. We're making a solid truck, not a showpiece. And that's our aim. So I'll show you once we get some of this structure back in and cleaned up, and I get ready to stitch on the internal and external rocker panels. So we got some 16 gauge. We got to cut these notches out. It's plug welded up in there. This is the inner structure that the outer rocker panel will cover up. How it went together. Inside, much the same. We're gonna go ahead and seal that up, seam seal it, caulk it, whatever we gotta do, and get it primered so it won't rot away, and cover it up with undercoating. Other than that, the undercarriage is for the most part all pore 15. A few areas like these we've got to go ahead and probably just brush in later. But everything else, black as night, except for of course our drive line. You don't paint those. There we go. You can see where we cut the outer rocker panel out. Inner rocker panel was just gone. I've got one section back here to decipher what we're going to do. Our outer rocker goes along here, so I may just have to put a little piece in here to beef that up right there where all the push pins and stuff go. We're over here on the passenger side. Went ahead and got all this stitched together. We'll grind all those welds out tomorrow. I'm pretty much out of gas, so in the morning I got maybe a half hour I can weld, and I gotta go up and fill it. Now that I had to do butt welds. I had to form that in. I just use like an old wooden hammer handle, whatever I find around. I make a lot of my own forming tools because they never really have what you need. I'll zoom around. We'll look at the driver's side now. This driver's side is all dressed, ground down, over short strand. I don't know how everyone else does it, but I was always showed put some short strand over your welds. I'm not using flux core or anything, but it gets a good watertight seal for any reason in particular. Just a good idea. Fills voids, pockets, holes. Gives you a good substrate to lay any filler on, real light. Then you're good to go. We got a little adjusting to do up in there on the pinch weld flange underneath. And this structure's back together. We do the rough-in body work here into the doors. We ground those down. We just brushed on pore 15. I'll show you the inside here. That's not a rubber seal. In fact, that's not much left of the bottom of the door. There we go. You can see it better now. This one's not so bad. The passenger side, all that section is gone. This one is going to get fiberglass. We get into replacing doors and all that, and the truck's upside down. The guy wants to drive it. He wants it to look decent. He wants to be sturdy. So in this particular instance, yes, we're going to deal with fiberglass versus replacing panels. A lot of people will scream and whine and cry. I don't care. I do what I can do. All jobs have some finite budget. I tend to work for working class people. I didn't work for working class people, just like me, just like you, just like everybody else. I dealt with higher end suburb folks back in the day. I was a carpenter for many years, built quite a few expensive houses, and I always wanted to do work that mattered. So I thought, dealing with people like that, it doesn't matter, it's just a thing to them, and in all reality it's just a thing. I had always an affinity for cars, and I decided to do this, and I truly feel like I'm doing work that matters in a lot of sense, in a lot of these cases. This is going to allow this truck to drive for hell another decade without any great work over. You know, we got into this truck and there was a lot more rust than had been foreseen. You know, the owner and I had discussed that aspect, and we came to grounds on where we draw the line. Where do we stop cutting out bad stuff and we start just stabilizing what's there versus cutting it out and replacing it. Every project has that line that's got to be drawn eventually. Some of them not, but I've yet to run into someone with a open checkbook and just say go. Maybe one day, that'd be dandy. But there are more desirable and there are less desirable methods as all that goes. I've gotten into cars that had been restored or at least body work done 20 years ago, and they had done fiberglass, long strand fiberglass in the rocker panels. I didn't grind on it an awful long time. It was a get it in, get it fixed up, get it back out, looking decent, versus, you know, fist-sized holes in this thing of rust. We scuffed down those rocker panels, and they were straight and clean, but I didn't get into metal. I got into green stuff. So as far as a fiberglass repair, it's not textbook, it's not the most desirable, but it does work and it does hold up. So, you know, there's going to be some people out there, oh, that's not right, you're not doing it right, you're not, well, I'm not doing it how you do it, and that's cool. I kind of show and share a little bit of my world, a little bit of my life with all you out there, and you know, I get the gracious support of friends, family, and folks I know through YouTube, Facebook, and so forth. No, I'm probably not doing it your way. There are probably better ways to do it. Those haven't occurred to me yet, so here we are. I do it how I know, do it best I'm capable, and I managed to keep my customers happy and eke out a small living here. So I get to do what I do, and I get paid for it, so win-win.